you all. It is a very good experience to be involved in African higher education in general and in Portuguese African higher education in particular. My name is Dr. Violet Makuku of the Association of African Universities. I'm a quality assurance specialist, project manager of the AQUA initiative, and a workshops coordinator at the Association of African Universities. Those are my contact details. I'm very much excited also to inform you that Professor Orlando Quilambo is actually the president of the Association of African Universities this time around. Our topic today is on open and distance learning quality assurance and regulation experiences in African higher education. And I'm very much excited about this topic because it is a topic of concern right now as we saw COVID-19 breaking out and also the push into the fourth industrial revolution. And it is very exciting that you chose to have this topic for me. The issue always is to push the quality assurance agenda because that is the only thing which builds trust. And I'm so much happy and glad to be involved in this aspect. Let's quickly define quality. I know you are conversant with this, but there's no harm in quickly doing a rundown so that as I talk about some of these aspects, we will now and then refer to these aspects also. Defining quality, meeting and or surpassing set standards by the National Accreditation Board. In Mozambique, is it KINAC? What is your National Accreditation Board? You need to at least meet their minimum standards and even surpass them, go beyond what has been given. Fitness for purpose for our students as they graduate. And this has been one area of concern in terms of quality, where people say if it is all open and distance learning, when and how will students get to know more about the practical aspects of what they will do in industry? But there are so many ways of killing a cat. There are particular softwares and applications that are there, although they are expensive. Now I think they are going to be relatively cheaper as everybody else is trying to move into the terrain of ODL. And so naturally, we would also have them going for industrial attachment. And I think this is one aspect which the ODL really needs to explain to people, that saying ODL does not mean that we will not have industrial attachment, but it depends. I want to ask you there in the Portuguese terrain, do your students who do ODL also go for industrial attachment or internship? If they go, you should preach the word, because that is one area which has been lacking in terms of trust. Compliance, are we following what we are supposed to do? Value addition, if a student comes maybe to do a postgraduate program or as a diploma and wants to do a degree, are we sure that the next program has new skills and new knowledge and new information which will add value to what they already know? Excellence and brand go hand in hand, because we are saying now, as an institution, with your students, the services that you offer, are they of an excellent standard? This excellence will then create a brand for your institution. Relevance, again, is very, very important today. Programs, whether they are open and distance learning mode or they are in another mode, the issue of their relevance to resolving current socio-economic challenges and the 17 SDGs is just at the center of everything. And also value for money for those who are coming for state institutions, and parents look at it also all those who fund the students who come into our institutions, they are concerned about value for money. Transformation is also looking at, currently, we can see the wave after COVID-19, and there's been a lot of upgrades in terms of softwares, learning management platforms, and everything. So we also need to transform as institutions to jump onto the latest version of the Moodle platform or the Canvas, because there are too many new features, but we can't do that without also transforming our students, our personnel, and also our ICT personnel, because they need to learn the new things in order for them to be able to manipulate and use them and to offer the services. And then there are so many more definitions of quality, but the one which I'm mostly concerned about also, which I always mention last, is the one by Henry Ford, which says, quality is doing right when no one is looking. Now, this is a problematic, because you would realize that most people do not want to do something which is not right when they are alone. And this could include checking on the washrooms. You find somewhere written, flush the toilet before you leave, or leave the toilet as clean as you found it, or don't steal tissue paper. All these things are telling us that in terms of quality, something is not right. Switch off the lights. Teach students as if they were your own children and relatives. This is the reason why we now then have quality assurance. And very, very quickly, let me talk about quality assurance, that it is a systematic internal and external management procedures and mechanisms by which a higher education institution assures its stakeholders of the quality of its systems, processes, procedures, products, and outcomes, and of its ability to manage the maintenance and enhancement of quality. This is according to Matei and Iwinska 2016. But many more authors of quality assurance concur with this definition. We need appropriate tools, but at the center of quality assurance, it's research to find out what is going on well, what is going on wrong, and what are the existing gaps, and we need to plug those gaps in order to make sure things are going on well. Then we have internal quality assurance, which is the higher education institutions are the custodians of that, and the external quality is that one for the accreditation bodies and quality assurance agencies. Quickly, very, very quickly, what are some of the quality indicators of higher and tertiary education? Programs that are sought after. Before you open for a program, people are saying, we want to enroll in that program. As soon as you open it, it's full, and you need now to close. When you are closed, they still want to enroll. Student progression and success rates. Students finish on time. A program for 3 years, they finish it within 3 years. The research project, they also do it within time. They are sought after because they are a brand, and so everyone wants to employ them. Employability. Student satisfaction with programs. They like the programs. The way they are taught, even if they are ordeal, they still like the programs. The profile and effectiveness of the teachers. Are they qualified? But unfortunately, throughout the world, those who teach in higher and tertiary education are not obliged to have the teaching qualification, the teacher education background, which is the professional qualification for teaching, whether in a school or a university or a college, and that is problematic. But more so, this is augmented by lecturers who are then recruited to teach in the ODL. What do they have? Which helps us to make sure that they will be able to teach. If we only look at their qualifications that they are doctors and professors, we may miss it because already we start compromising on the teaching of ODL, because the way that it is taught is not the same way that we teach face-to-face. In addition, if they were able to write modules, you know, modules should be highly interactive. And if they write these modules and interact with students using them, it would be very much appreciated and much better. Profile of student population. What kind of students are we taking? It's a quality issue. Is it that after everybody else is enrolled, we get the worst students? As ODL, we also need to fight to enroll quality students who have got good passes. Learning resources available, I'll cover that in detail. And for ODL, what is most important is that there should be very good ICT infrastructure and also robust internet services with available data that is affordable to both the institution and the students. What do you have in place to augment the students, because they are mostly hard hit? You also need your e-resources, and that is very, very important and a quality indicator. Your libraries, e-libraries, which can be accessed by students, both on campus and off campus. And this will make life easier for them. There are some which are on open access, but very, very good. And there are some which they can access even without internet. If we could have that, it will make the quality of ODL much, much better. Regular feedback from employers, the labor market, and other relevant organizations. Are they distinguishing to say this one came from an ODL, this one came from a conventional institution? If they do that, it means there's something wrong somewhere. There are many other indicators, but very quickly again, I want to move on to the quality assurance principles, which whether you are an open and distance learning or you are a conventional institution, you need to follow. And which are these? Accountability by the institutional managers, the deans, the ICT personnel, the lecturers, and even the students themselves, the other support staff. Everybody else should be accountable. Everybody else should be transparent, but a person can only be accountable if we give them the task and we attach their name to it. Issues of efficiency and effectiveness come with training, capacity building. They come with retooling for everyone, the ICT personnel, the teaching staff, the students themselves, and all the support staff. The institutional managers, they need to be trained in quality and quality assurance so that they appreciate why we should have quality assurance. And this is because also people have got a narrow understanding of quality and quality assurance. They've got misconceptions about quality and quality assurance. And this is the reason why they mostly resist. They also resist because quality and quality assurance were forcibly instituted into the academic institutions before people could have time to explain to the higher and tertiary education communities why quality assurance and assurance, how is it done? And we have a major problem that assurance personnel are not trained. They don't have the requisite skills that are needed, and we should make deliberate efforts to make sure that they get induction, they get staff development, they get also capacity building, and it's very important. It works well for us. Avoiding double communication, very, very key, as well as documentation and testing, which is research. When I say communication, effective communication is two-way, and we know that in ODL, communication can be mostly through the written means, the emails. And for it to be effective, because when I take, for example, UNISA, the teaching staff and the students are not obliged to all be on campus, but here and there they can be on campus. So in the absence of effective communication, timely communication, which reach to the people on time, and the communication channels which are very effective and well known by people, it's very, very key, because now effective communication matters in ODL. And today, we don't need to be rigid. If it is through emails, through WhatsApp, through Telegram, you see most people are now cultured to WhatsApp and they respond very, very quickly. And so let's use that, which can make life easier for everybody, which can make two-way communication very easy, and for people to quickly get the communication. Thank you. And then what are the quality principles? We continue, but it is well documented the world over in quality assurance literature that is compromised by religion. We put people in positions because they are just loyal to that religion. But sometimes we need to compromise and put somebody who is well versed for the job, who is well experienced for the job. Nepotism and ethnicity, you find people always fighting instead of doing work. You don't accept an opinion from somebody because they don't belong to your ethnic group, and that is very bad. Politics also, you belong to that political party, I belong to that political party, so we can't work together, but we are there for the same post. And so all these things should go beyond what the ordinary politics. Corruption, I can't say. You know, right now through COVID-19, a lot of finances have been given. Grants are being applied for and won. But what are you using the grants for? And also those monies which have been given for you to invest in your ICT, in your internet services, are you appropriately using the money, or it's going somewhere? So these are the things which compromise. But above everything, we need to look at this cycle. The cycle says we should plan. And in ODL, you know that time-yes planning, and also planning on time and doing things on time is very, very important. So plan, when do we plan? In order to implement, that's the doing. And then when we implement, doing evaluation, we need to check at regular intervals what is happening here, what is going on well. And we act. Acting is to quickly make the necessary changes to correct anything that has not been doing right. Right. What are the major challenges that we have had in ODL? In most cases, lack of funding and national government support on national infrastructural developments. This is very, very key. We can talk of robust ICT and internet infrastructure, but this cannot start from the institution. It should start from the nation. The government should invest at national level on robust ICT systems and infrastructure and internet services. And then the institutions will take it from there, and then we can move on. Then in the absence of robust ICT and internet infrastructure, what is there for us? This is problematic because we say this is the core of open and distance learning. It's a big challenge. Staff and students without computers, laptops, what do? They go to internet cafes, maybe where they stay is too far, and all this will compromise quality because they get their work late. When they go to get their work, maybe they've got a short time to do the work, and so they are hurriedly doing their work, and it compromises everything. Training needs for staff and students that are not fulfilled. It's another major challenge. If we look at now, we have Zoom platforms, we have everything, Adobe Connect, we have WhatsApp, we have Telegram, we have upgraded learning management systems, Canvas, and what have you, all those which we have been using. And so there's need for staff induction and also capacity building and retooling, which means lifelong learning should be there. Computer illiteracy from both some staff and students. What should we do about it? What is in place? Absence of rapid response teams to assist students and staff, power outages, and absence of cheaper alternatives. All of these will compromise our quality. So we need a deliberate resource mobilization agenda through income generating projects, responding to calls for grants, so that when we win grants, we can then make sure we take care of all these needs that we have and which are not fulfilled. Right now, I want to make a hint that there are many grants which are being released related to COVID-19. But the beauty of it is that these grants are only on upgrading of internet and ICT infrastructure. So go on board, search for those grants and calls and make an application. Who knows, you can win your own grant. Encourage parents to prioritize the provision of gadgets for their children. Institutions can also put in place schemes for both students and staff for laptops, smartphones, and computers. Capacity development in open and distance learning, teaching and learning skills for everyone, including students, should be done for retooling, because the learning management systems and other softwares and platforms are upgraded regularly. What we're talking about now should be lifelong learning. That's very, very important. Therefore, lifelong learning becomes a must for everyone. And our institutional leaders should always consider that. But also, the ICT and internet services staff and all the other support staff also need to be trained, because all the working spaces are digital, be it collecting fees, be it marketing to get students, be it everything. We just need to make sure everybody is being involved in staff development and capacity building. Rapid response teams should be constituted so that they always give the so much needed backup support to both students and staff. It matters a lot, because they sometimes struggle when new things are coming or when there are upgrades. Natural energy sources like solar power could be considered, and institutions can invest in those. Let's move on to more of the major challenges and solutions. Once again, absence of robust ICT-aided quality management systems to deal with issues of academic dishonesty, monitoring the examination processes, security of marks in databases are a major concern. In fact, this is the major aspect which make people lack and lose trust in open and distance learning. And this is the reason why uptake of open and distance learning has been so slow and people have been reluctant. But with the coming of COVID-19 and also the push by the fourth industrial revolution, we are likely to see, and we have already seen, that there's need for blended learning, there's need for alternative learning, and we look forward to having more institutions getting into the open and distance learning mode. Outdated software, applications, and pieces of equipment which are used to teach students without giving them the relevant contemporary skills that they will meet in the workplace. It's a major challenge, because now if we are using an old software in the banks for those doing accounting, we see that in a year there can be 3 or 4 upgrades for bank systems. And so we need also to quickly replace the softwares we are using to teach students, so that when they graduate and go to teach or learn or to do some other jobs, in the banks and other sectors, they will be able to do it. There is a talk now of Internet of Things, robotics. Where are they going to work if we are still giving them hard copies of modules? Now, we need to give them soft copies of modules, the e-library that I talked about initially, e-resources, and how to search for materials from the internet. All those skills, they need to have them. And then I look at some more of the possible solutions. Institution of rewards and punishments to encourage whistleblowing in case of any observations of individuals attempting to perpetuate malpractices in examinations and the general integrity of open and distance learning. The punishments will also act as deterrents to those who may want to attempt to tamper around with the examination process from coursework to the actual examinations. The key issues which we have had is that sometimes we are not sure if students are going to share answers and responses. So you may need to reshuffle. And this is very simple. You reshuffle your questions so that while another student is answering number 5, the other one is on number 1, the other one is on number 10. And you can also institute some camera system whereby as the student is taking on an exam, you at the center there in the institution, you can be able to monitor. You also have to have strong security to be able to trace who changed the marks, because the students could be failing. But we have syndicates of the student, the lecturer, and an ICT person, and they are all together working. The student pays for them to all change the marks, regardless of the administrator rights. So what are we doing in terms of checking to make sure that it doesn't happen? Because this is the worst part of open and distance learning, which has been most difficult to make sure that we give credit and trust in people so that they can trust us in terms of the results. What do we do to make sure we don't have situations where a brother is writing an exam for a sister, or somebody is paid to do a dissertation for someone? How do we keep all those in open and distance learning? Because those are the major quality assurance issues which have been coming. With viable resource mobilization strategies, all the other challenges should fall by the wayside, as there will be money to replace outdated equipment and software and applications, and also to acquire everything that we would need to make sure that we have a robust quality management system that is aided by ICT and internet services. And that is very, very important. But I told you earlier on that it is very, very important to build the trust and confidence in online open and distance learning programs, which are already lacking and caused a lot of resistance from key higher education stakeholders, including industry, who are the employers. The reasons against this mode included lack of engagement. It's impractical, there are no practicals, there are no lab-based activities, large and costly bandwidth, resistance from students, and disincentivized faculties. Not surprisingly, these issues resurfaced currently with uneven connectivity. Important higher education voices like Philip and John Daniel have all rightly remarked that online learning is not, nor never should have been deemed an overnight solution. They said so in 2020. It means it needs a lot of preparation, but we need to make sure that standards are closely met and surpassed to ensure high quality graduates who are comparable to those who graduate from the traditional universities and can work in the new normal digitized environment. I call all higher education leaders and higher education Association of also. And on my own behalf, this is our and generation. I want to emphasize again. You can contact me for any assistance and we can team up to help. It's not a problem because we are here to serve higher education in Africa, regardless of anything, the geographical locations and the language and everything. Translations can always be done. Development of robust quality management systems in the digitized new normal higher education terrain. We can do that. Capacity building for academic support and students in digital literacy, designing and development and quality assurance of resource materials, assessment and evaluation, online teaching and learning. All those are very, very key. Did we teach our people how to do online marking? It's very important. Reviewing theses and dissertations online. Are they effective on it? We need to check. Can our students also follow what we will have done? It's very, very key. Okay, I'm stop sharing slightly and reshare because to tell you that internal quality assurance, it is at the center. If you do anything thinking that the quality assurance agency will come, they come for a short time. If you prepare for their coming by borrowing pieces of equipment and pretending that all is well, you are cheating nobody but yourself. So we need also to work with professional bodies, national quality assurance agents, regional quality assurance standards, and international standards. So graduates also can also fit everywhere. They can be student and staff mobility, and that's very important. I want to quickly give you some of the support materials, and I'm going to email them to Eduardo Mondlane, to Dr. Nilsa, and also Prof. Quilambo, so that they can share with all those who are in the Portuguese-speaking higher and tertiary institutions. We have toolkits from African Center for Distance Education, and these are very important. We can use them. Did we know about them? I will share with you. African standards and guidelines for quality assurance, they are already in Portuguese also, and I will share with you, but we need to know about them. Although they are too general, they can guide us, which have already accredited and quality assured ODL programs. Do we know about them? We need to check. A number of African universities which were already using online and open and distance learning, 647 years old. Nigeria Open University, Zimbabwe Open University, the Open University of Tanzania, and Tunis Open University. All those, we can work with them. The Commonwealth of Learning has been supporting quality assurance in a partnership for enhanced and blended learning. They also had a project in East Africa, Pan-African Virtual University. It's under African Union Commission, and it started in 2020 and any other such bodies. Very, very quickly, a paradigm shift. We need a lot of collaboration, cooperation, and team spirit. So we also need to have people who are bilingual in our Portuguese-speaking terrain, so that these can also take these materials and translate them properly, working together to reach a goal, putting talent and expertise and smarts at work. It's very, very important. Critical thinking, problem solving, looking at challenges in new ways, and linking learning across subjects and disciplines. It's part of quality assurance in open and distance learning. Creativity, trying new approaches to get things done. And this is equated to innovation and invention. Ladies and gentlemen, we should either shape up or ship out. We ship out and irrelevant. So we need to increase digital and ICT literacy, great need for quick adaptation, resource mobilization, excellent communicators, sharing thoughts, ideas, questions, and solutions. Our leaders should be role models, visionaries, risk takers, and we all need to be adopters with the ability to learn. Because now there's a saying which is saying the educated of the 21st century are not those who can read and write, but they are those who are able to learn, unlearn, and relearn. And this is what is required in open and distance learning. All these are the 7 survival skills that you need: critical thinking and problem solving, collaboration across networks, and learning by influence, agility and adaptability, initiative and entrepreneurialism, effective oral communication, accessing and analyzing information. Don't just sign documents. You need to analyze them. Curiosity and imagination. In the interest of time, I wish you the best as a higher education, a Portuguese higher education institutions. I thank you. Obrigado. Bye-bye.